Hello and welcome to the latest episode of my knitting and creative podcast. My name on Instagram is Orchid's Heart and I'm coming to you from Birmingham in England. And this is just a regular, ordinary podcast episode. My last episode was a bit of a vlog. And I'm just remembering, did I bring my notes downstairs? Yes, I did. So thank you for all the kind feedback on the January vlog I did last time. I've never really done a video like that before, I don't think. And so I did ask whether you guys enjoyed it, and it sounded like you did. So maybe whilst I'm not knitting quite so much, and the baby starts to get more mobile, maybe I will share a few more of those vloggy type videos, just so it's not so long between creative podcast updates. Although I'm still managing to do quite well with making at the moment. But I mean, he isn't crawling yet, so we shall see what happens when he starts crawling. So, hello, good morning everybody. It is the very end of January, so it'll be February by the time you see this. So this is probably my February episode. So yeah, thank you for the lovely kind words on the last video. And I also want to say thank you to everybody who supported me on Ko-fi recently, especially the very generous supporter. You know who you are. Very much appreciate your support and everyone else's. And anybody that gifted me a pattern from my Ravelry wish list. Thank you so much. It's much appreciated, more than you know, especially at the moment. Yeah, and so I could start with knitting finished objects, but to be honest, the only one I've got you can't see because it's already gone. I mentioned in my last podcast, the Languishing Whips podcast, that I think I had 8 or 9 languishing whips, and my goal this year was to get through them all. And so in my vlog for January that I did, you will see that I finished my mum's socks. So I don't think I even have a photo of them, to be honest, because I made them and gave them straight to her. Sorry, finished them and gave them straight to her, because it was only the toes that needed doing. So that was technically my finished object-ish, kind of cheating. But otherwise, I'm kind of pretty much straight into whips. So I've got 1, 2, 3 languishing whips I've been working on, and 1 new whip. So that's exciting. So I'll start with the languishing whips. So the first one, which I've taken another pause on, is my Selma Suit turned coat for the little boy, which appears to be a bit big for this hanger actually. Or it's something to do with the way it's on hold. And so this was started out as a Selma sleep suit by Petite Knit, which I'm knitting in 3 strands of mystery cone yarn, but I'm hacking it to make it into a little coat. So I basically followed the pattern, and then rather than splitting for legs, I just kept knitting and I put some stitches on hold to do pockets, and then I've done an applied I-cord all around the edge, just because I find that edge neater than what was the original sort of edge, which was just an ordinary garter edge. So that goes all around the hood and all around the outside. So I've done that. Just need to weave in some ends and pick up and knit the sleeves and then sort out the pockets. So that's nearly done. So that's that one. So not that far off being finished actually. This will be once I've finished my next languishing whip, this will probably become my portable knitting project, because it's just sleeves knit in stockinette. No, in garter. So hang on, is that going to be a bit more annoying because I'll be knitting back and forth? I think so. This is a question, if you've been knitting back and forth in garter, can you then just knit the sleeves in the round, just in the round, or is that going to look super different? Sorry, I mean knit them inside out so that it's purl side showing. Or do I have to knit them flat and seam them together? I don't know, let me know what you think. The other languishing whip, the Beetle Magic jumper, I actually can't really show you because I've just realised it's in the bottom of the pram, which is out with the baby and grandma because they're at music. So I can't show you, but to be honest, I'm still knitting the body, so it's not terribly exciting. I will try and remember to stick a photo of that project in here so you can see what I'm referring to. So I'll save the update for next time really. But otherwise, my next major update is I have finally picked up my cardigan. So you will see that in my January vlog, I did finally rip out sleeves and start reknitting, and I've nearly finished the second sleeve, but I'm not that happy. The first sleeve looks dramatically different, and you'll see if you watch the vlog how different it looked from the first time I knit them, much smaller. But even though I'm knitting on the same needles, same gauge, for some reason the second sleeve isn't looking as neat. I must have loosened up. Or maybe it will look much better once I've blocked it, because this one's been blocked and this one hasn't. But the sleeve does look much bigger. I'll see if I can show you. And it's the same sleeve counts, but it's like a couple of centimetres bigger. I mean, it's not that easy to show you, but it's definitely bigger. So I might have to stick a photo in because it's kind of tricky. Perhaps I will finish knitting the sleeve before posting this video, and then I'll take a photo so you can see what I mean. Because at the moment it's all ends, and yeah, so I don't know. But I'm not knitting a sleeve for a 5th time. Yes, because it would be the 5th time. It's not happening, so it will be what it is, and hopefully it will look similar enough that it doesn't matter. It is slightly different. I ran out of cream yarn, bizarrely, even though there was the same amount, and so I had to shorten the transition between the cream back to the brown. So yeah, it's not going to be perfect, and it never was, because it's all knit out of stash and scrap. I didn't buy anything for this project, and so I'm just trying to use bits up. So now that I have basically done the sleeves, once I've finished the sleeves, I'm probably going to give it a rest and work on something else for a bit, and it will go in the queue of portable boring projects or nap projects, things like that, because there is quite a lot of body to knit. I need to rip some body out, like an inch or two, and reknit that because that was knit on bigger needles by accident. And so it's going to be an undertaking to do the body. And I've kind of got it back in the back of my mind that my ultimate aim is to have it finished before going to the Woolly Good Gathering in Edinburgh in April. Because we booked an Airbnb for ages ago. We're having a little family holiday, and we're going to go to Scotland for a couple of days. And we are going to Woolly Good Gathering, myself and the little boy and grandma, to help me with the little boy. So if you guys are going, give me a shout. We're only going on the Friday. I don't know how long we'll be going for, because I'm kind of dictated by how the baby's going to handle it. I really don't know. Because he'll be 9 months old, so I really have no idea what that will be like. So very exciting. But I think I'd like to wear it to the Woolly Good Gathering if it looks alright when I finish it. Yeah, we'll see. Because who doesn't want to show off a colourwork jumper? Just depends how mad it looks by the time I'm done with it, because it is a scrappy project, so it might look a bit funny, I don't know. But yes, so that is my big languishing whip. So that's like a catch up on projects. And then I have a new cast on, which is more exciting, obviously. And I'm jumping on the Pressed Flowers bandwagon. So hopefully you can see here. So I'm knitting the free pattern, the Pressed Flowers Kerchief. So it is like this. And I think I'm on my last repeat before I do the middle point and then start decreasing. So it's going to be quite small. I hope it's going to be long enough. A few people have said to me it's a bit on the small side. But I'm again using stash scrap yarn. So I will have to weigh it and check how much I've got left, because I might be able to squeeze out one more repeat. And the yarns I'm using are 2 Harvest Hues mini skeins from John Arbon in the worsted weight in the colour Russet. So hopefully you can see. It's like a combination of green, brown, orange, rust, sort of all blended together. Because for those of you who don't know, John Arbon yarns, they dye the fleece in lots of different colours, and then they spin them together to combine them. So you get these colours that are made up of lots of other colours. So from a distance it looks like a kind of a orangey, sort of greeny brown, and up close you can see that it's got all of those colours in there. So that's my main colour, and then my contrast, I'm using leftover scraps. I've got this 4-ply yarn, which I'll tell you what it is in a minute, and then this lace weight. And these are both leftovers. So the 4-ply is pure Shetland wool from Sheared Treasure, 4-ply, but it's a heavy 4-ply. And it's a yarn I bought on holiday in Wales. And I think it's like a cruelty-free type yarn. This yarn is very special as the fleeces are either rude or hand sheared from the sheep and then spun at a small Welsh mill. On return to the farm, we either sell the yarn without any further processing or we hand dye it with plants. Oh, this isn't the one I thought it was. I thought it was the one where they don't... Oh no, it is. No slaughter flock. So the sheep aren't slaughtered. Yeah, so... And then this one is a merino wool alpaca silk mix. I'm not really sure what the company is called. I don't know if that's recognisable to anybody. It says it's from Peru. So to be honest, complete opposite. Nice, sustainable, fairly local. Probably not. It was bought in a D-stash. So yeah, and I really like the colour combination. So, and my future cast on goal is to do and the reason why I cast this on is because I want to do the pressed flowers cowl. But I've never done mosaic knitting before, so I wanted to give it a go. I will say I actually think mosaic knitting is quite easy once you get into the swing of it and you actually read the pattern properly, which I didn't. The back looks like this, and it's a really nice thick textured fabric. But my original goal for the cowl was to knit it in the round like a tube, because I have a cowl like that and I really like wearing it, but I don't think with mosaic knitting that's possible. If anybody's more experienced with mosaic knitting and thinks I could knit it in the round and could hack the pattern to knit it in the round like a tube, let me know. I don't really want to knit it flat and then seam it, because then you get that bulky seam where they join. And I think it would be quite bulky. I don't know if I could do it flat or not. Just because I really liked that seamless feel on my other cowl, the Velvet Mirror Cowl by Andrew Mowry. It's so soft and cosy, and it's like one of those Infinity Mobius cowls. You just pull it on and it's ready to go. And I was going to do that with the pressed flowers cowl, but I don't think it's possible. What do you think? Let me know if you know, because I'm not that experienced in mosaic knitting. I actually thought I'd hate mosaic knitting, but at least on something that small, it's quite rhythmic and enjoyable. I don't know if on a whole cardigan I'd find it tedious, because there is that pattern that has like the patchwork motifs on the sides and I think on the sleeves that I really liked the idea of, but I don't know if I can face it or not on such a big project. Anyway, that's kind of like a long-term pipe dream because I've got a lot of cute projects. Yeah, so that's my knitting update, short but sweet. I have a bit of a sewing update and then some acquisitions for knitting and fabric, which I'd like to share with you. Okay, so this section is ad gifted because before Christmas I was given a Sew Your Own Handbag kit by Babylon Leather, and they asked me to share how I got on with it. I wasn't paid. I was just gifted the kit to then share my honest review. So I think I did film a bit the other day when I was making it, so if it's appropriate I will stick it in here. Sorry, I've got you balanced on my spinning wheel, not at the best angle, I have to say. I just thought I'd pause and let you know how I'm getting on. Probably I've just dumped this in the middle of an ordinary catch-up podcast because I'm not doing a vlog at the moment. I just released my January vlog. And I've been home alone for a little while because Grandma took baby to a sensory session. And I have done this first bit. And I'm halfway through this line up here. And I'm hoping to do these 2 lines before they come home. But I think that's ambitious because I think they're going to be back in about 10 minutes. So it's probably not going to happen. Maybe I can finish this top one. It's easy. Once you get into the swing of it, it's easy. I find it easier holding it between my knees. When I was trying to film a bit holding it up so you could see it better. And I made a right hash of it and I had to unpick it. But yeah, in case I didn't say before I dumped this clip in, this is a... I think I can hear the baby outside. Maybe. This is a Babylon leather kit, which they kind of gifted to me before Christmas. And I spent a little bit of time getting around to doing it. Because when I do a new thing... No, it's next door, it's not baby. When I am about to try a new thing, I get quite anxious. And I need time to sit down and concentrate with energy, not being half asleep, without distractions, knowing that I can get into it and get going. So that's what I did. And now that I understand the premise, which is really easy, if you can thread a needle so far, I would say you can handle this. The video instructions are a video with typed out instructions in English, so you need to be able to read in English. You probably could, which I imagine you can do if you're listening to me, to be honest. I mean, you probably could follow it just by watching them. Some of the instructions are rather awkwardly phrased. But yeah, so some of the instructions are slightly awkwardly phrased, but understandable, it's not a problem. And yeah, so I'm really enjoying it. Doing it a bit slower as we speak because I'm not holding it between my knees. The trick is you've got to remember to keep tightening in between. But yeah, now that I understand it, I reckon I can do a bit before I go to bed in the evenings after baby's gone to bed. And if you do make a mistake, it's fairly easy to unpick. I wouldn't want to get to the end of a section and realise I started at the wrong point and at the wrong hole, because that would be annoying to unpick. I realise I'm struggling to focus because I'm in selfie mode. Because you'd have to unpick the whole thing like a stitch at a time, that'd be really irritating. But yeah, otherwise it's fine. So I'm going to stop filming and I'm going to carry on until they get home. We'll see how much I get done. I'll try and catch you up just to make sure it's all totally clear. So perhaps you've just seen that clip. If not, I'm just going to continue. I started sewing this up the other morning whilst baby was out. I think I shared that with you guys. And I just wanted to share how far I got in the end. So I have sewn the facing to the front bit and then the back to the front. And the next step, and I've also sewn the buckles to the side. The next step is to attach the side to the back and then what will be the front piece, which I've got upstairs. So far it's been really easy and fairly straightforward. I did find sewing these bits on a bit fiddly just because the weight of this makes it hard to keep it still. And I did, when I was really tired last night, which was a mistake, try to start sewing the sides to the body because I had this mad idea that I'd finish it by this morning. And I made a mistake, but I was really, really tired. So it just got into a bit of a higgledy-piggledy mess. I'm finding it generally very enjoyable. Generally, it's very easy to do neatly because the holes are already punched and they all match up. So as long as you start in the right place, it's easy. And yeah, I am actually really enjoying it. I was worried I'd find it tedious, and I'm honestly not. I'm glad I picked a design that was quite simple because there are some like Cambridge satchel style ones that have lots of pockets and bits. which would be fine, but I don't have the time for something like that at the moment. You know, if I had more time and I didn't have a baby, then I probably would enjoy a project like that I could really sink my teeth into. Because I think if you have free time, you could make this one in a day easily, because the strap has no stitching. It's just these bits and then the front bit. The strap, I believe, I'm going to be hammering together using rivets and a buckle, so that's easy. And so I'm really looking forward to finishing it. I don't think it's going to take me that long once I get going. I find the hardest part is starting the line, and once you start the line, you're fine and you're just swimming. And if it's a small piece, it's easy. It's just this has a bit of a life of its own because it's straight and this is curved. And there are clips to clip it on to hold it together, because obviously you can't use pins. But I think because of the shape, it's a bit fiddly to hold it on, but once I get going, it will be okay. I just need to not do it when I'm half asleep. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it. This is called like the Veg Tan handbag leather kit, I think, and it comes in a couple of colours. I chose green because I've already got a little brown handbag. And I think it's going to be perfect for putting my purse, my phone and my essentials in, because now that I'm living the pram life, everything heavy goes in my pram. But I also think it'd be really nice on a rare evening out where I get to go for a drink with some friends, because it looks quite nice. And because it's really decent solid leather, I think it's going to last. I did consider making a lining out of fabric and attaching it, because this will be the inside. And I think that would be really lovely, but I can't be bothered. Because probably you could, if you've got sewing skills, probably quite easily, once you've sewn the side to the back and then the front, you could quite easily make an insert and, you know, glue it in or something. I'm sure you could, if you had the patience and the time. I don't, and I don't want to ruin it, so I'm not going to. But yeah, so really enjoying that. So thank you Babylon Leather for giving me that project to try. And I will share it finished in my next vlog and creative update. Yeah, so that's exciting. Then my main project lately, sewing wise, has actually been the one that I was sharing the most in my January vlog, which is this Bilbo vest by Thread and Yarn. So I have finished quilting it by hand, and the only thing I've got left to do now is to, I'm going to trim the shoulders down a bit, and then I've got to make the bias binding and bind the edges, and then decide what I'm doing about buttonholes, whether I'm going to do buttonholes or toggles or what. And so there you go, you can see the inside looks like that. I have mixed feelings about this because I think the contrast is a bit much for me. Thread and Yarn did hers, Lorna did hers in patchwork, colourful linens, and then quilted with white shishiko thread, and so it didn't stand out so much against her lining, and so I think her inside looked a lot classier than mine does like this. So I think, if I'm honest, it's going to end up only being worn this side out. But I think for me the shoulders are too deep, so I think I'm going to take them in a bit. But I want someone to give me a hand with that, just so I don't hash it up. My hair is attached to it. So that's nearly finished. Again, it'd be quite quick to finish off if I had the patience to sit down for an hour and a half and do it. I'm hoping that will be soon, because it'd be really nice to have that extra cosy layer to wear. And I'm already plotting the next one. I think I shared in the past that I had all these ideas about making a quilted jacket which I was going to embroider with stars and patchwork and all sorts of things, and I've decided, even though I've cut the jacket out, which was the Wixton Howry renamed unfolding jacket, which is now discontinued because I think Wixton the company's packed up, I might be wrong. I have cut out the fabrics for the quilted jacket and started embroidering the pocket. However, I think I'm going to apply that vision to a waistcoat instead and have just a plain quilted jacket, because I think I might get more wear out of that, which means that the rather pricey fabric I bought to line it, I'm now not going to use for that. It was a Merchant & Mills blue striped linen. I'm going to save that for something else, like a nice dress of some kind. And I bought some fabric yesterday instead to line the quilted jacket with, and maybe the waistcoat if there's any left. And that is this gorgeous William Morris fabric. So one of our local fabric shops, I think, is closing down in town. Massive parts of Birmingham at the moment are being like re-landscaped and restructured because of the new high-speed train, HS2 if you're in England. They're building another big train station in town in the kind of industrial part of the city, Digbeth. And they're forcing out lots of small businesses. They've changed the rules about what sort of cars can drive into the city, etc, etc, etc. And it's causing a lot of problems for a lot of certain types of businesses. This fabric shop, I think it's closing. I'm not sure, they've said that they are. But anyway, they had a massive sale on. So I bought 3 meters of this because I wasn't sure what I was going to use it for. But I think I am going to use it to line that jacket because it's this dark blue colour. And if there's any left over, I will line a waistcoat with it because it's gorgeous. It feels lovely. And it's called the Tom Tit William Morris's Nature's Dream from the Victorian Albert Museum. From vintagetextiles.com, and it's 100% organic cotton. It just feels lovely. I mean, I could make a quilt from this. I feel like there aren't enough uses in the world for this fabric, and I probably should have bought more. My friend said the same thing because she bought some and then regretted not buying more. But it's my colours, it's mustard, and it's that sage colour, and it's just gorgeous. I'm now thinking I want it all over my bed, but I can't. There isn't enough. Maybe I should use something else to line that jacket and use this for something I can see more often, I don't know. But I think it would look really nice peeping out in the jacket. Then I bought 2 meters of this cotton, this check cotton, to make Thread and Yarn's bramble skirt, which is like a gypsy tiered skirt. And so I'm excited to make that because I think it'd be quite a simple, quick project. Because I've seen this, she has this picture, and I'll put it on the screen if I remember, of her wearing her Bilbo vest with a shirt and her bramble skirt, and she looks like the character out of Little Women to me. Is it Jo March? And I 100% want to look like Jo March. I think it's a good look. But my vest I don't think will go with this, it's too much. So I need to make another one, basically. If I like the shape, then maybe I'll make a couple, because the embroidered star one isn't going to go with that skirt either. That isn't going to go with that skirt. Unless the embroidered star one, I'm clever about the lining and the other side is more plain. I don't know. But it won't be if I do William Morris on the other side. So maybe I need to make one that's just more boring. I mean, Lorna was smart. She had a neutral one side that was completely like, you know, cream and oatmeal. But I would not have liked this being quilted with white or off-white Shiko thread. That would not have been a good vibe for me. Yes, so what have I brought this down? Okay, that was a mistake, bring that down. That's old spinning. I haven't done any new spinning. And then my last thing is I do have a small yarn acquisition section. And this is from November to now. So there's a few bits here. So apart from my advent calendar, this is all the yarn I've bought since the beginning of November. And that is because a couple of them, my brother went to America in November to visit family. And so I posted some yarn to the family and he brought it back. And so that was these. These are Linen Quill by Purl Soho, which I've always wanted to try. Now I was hoping the contrast between those two would be a bit higher. And so the colours I've got are Peach Stone, Pale Mushroom, and Golden Green. And this is because Stress Knits, I've really forgotten her name. I watch her quite often, how have I forgotten her name? But Stress Knits absolutely loves this yarn, and I've been watching her for years and all the things she knits with it, and I really wanted to try it. And then because my brother was going quite last minute to America, I went on the Purl Soho website and they had a massive sale on, so these weren't even that expensive. And it was purely out of compassion for my brother not having to mule back loads of yarn for me that I didn't order more, because I think they were like £8 each or £7 each, like really not very much. And they're generous skeins, they're 115 grams, I think. Maybe I've made that up. No, maybe they are just 100 grams. Anyway, 439 yards for 100 grams. But anyway, I bought them with the intention of making a shawl with them. We shall see, because like I said, the contrast in those two isn't as much as I thought, so it might actually get a bit lost. But maybe if I was to have those two next to each other, and I don't know, there's still options. But it feels gorgeous. I mean, maybe I can knit a shawl with two and use this for something else, or, you know, vice versa. But like, this is really my colour at the moment. And these are always my colour. So really excited. And I also, on someone's D-stash on Ravelry, I've always wanted to try, and I think the tag's fallen off, that she made. I've always wanted to try Nomadic Yarns sock yarn. And so this is their Yak Nomadic Yarns sock self-striping. I can't remember the colourway. I was trawling through Ravelry to find Nomadic Yarn self-striping that I liked the colours of, especially Yak, because it was the Yak I wanted to try. But yeah, so because I missed her update time-wise, I thought she updated every week, but it turned out to be once a fortnight and it just wasn't going to arrive in time. So yeah, this gorgeous one, which I'll probably just knit some plain socks with. I'm obviously having a very green moment because then I have these. So they were purchased in November, and these were purchased in January, which I was going to share in my vlog that I just did. But this was purchased on like the last day, which you didn't see because I ran out of time on the video. I didn't purchase these. These were a birthday gift from a very kind person I know on Instagram, because I saw her a couple of days after my birthday. She gave us her vintage high chair for the babe, and when I went to go pick it up, because it'd been my birthday, she bought these 3 mini skeins from a dye called Second City Yarns. Now, for those of you not in England, Birmingham is the second city in England, and so she names all of her colourways after places in Birmingham. And so because that day I went to the market and she was there, I did buy this skein from her, and this skein is called Moseley Bog. Moseley is an area nearby where I live, and the bog is somewhere that we go walking quite a lot. And I thought I might make something for the boy with them, but I can't decide if these are too much to go with this and whether I need to do two separate things or what. I haven't really decided. I am thinking I might knit one of Laura Penrose's blanket patterns, so maybe I could use those for that and that, but two different motifs. I don't know, I'm still thinking, because I did think I'd knit him a jumper with them, but I'm thinking that could look quite nice with some oatmeal striped as a jumper, possibly. And then these something else. I really don't know, I have not decided, but there we go. That is everything I've been up to. That's my acquisitions. And yeah, so that's it at the moment. I did, if this hasn't cut off already, I don't think it has. I did do something else actually. Let's see if you can see this. Ooh. So I made a load of these. These are spice jars from the local supermarket, which I save up, and I try and get them off people as well. And you might not be able to see very easily, I have about 8 to 10 of these. So this is a homemade hand balm. It is coconut and grapeseed oil infused with yarrow, chamomile and calendula, blended with beeswax and shea butter. Not really a recipe, just I kept blending until I liked the consistency. And these are Epsom salts with pink Himalayan salt, dried lavender, dried rose, sage essential oil, a bit of Howood essential oil, and sweet almond oil to moisturise. And this is because I mentioned before that in the lead up to having the baby, I joined a antenatal group, and there was 8 of us, and we're still really, really good friends. We meet up all the time, and one of them is doing like a Galentine's thing in a couple of weeks. So rather than doing Valentine's, she's hosting us all, and we're going to have a drink and I think some cookies and just hang out with us mums and the babies, and a bit of a pampering relaxation afternoon. And with these things, people always bring something to eat and something to drink, and you end up with more food and drink than you possibly need for that gathering. So I thought, and I've not told them this, I'm not going to bring any food or any drinks. I'm going to bring everybody one of these and one of these, and I'm going to put them in some little gift bags, and they can take them home as a present to enjoy at home. As a, a nice cozy bath to have at some point when dad or grandma's got the baby or whatever, and then some nice balms which they can use on themselves or the baby if they wish, because there's no essential oils in this, up to their discretion, because I'm not qualified in skincare or anything, but I've been using mine on myself and absolutely love it. So yeah, no recipes, I'm afraid. I just blended the ingredients that I read out in amounts till I felt happy with them. I bought the tins on eBay. And like I said, these are just reused, but you could easily save up little jam jars or something. I just wanted something that was going to look really uniform and smart, because I think it adds to the, even though the only thing I had to buy, because I had everything else in stock, were the tins, I think it adds a bit of something to it when it looks kind of semi-professional. So I'm going to make some little labels for them, which I'm going to print onto brown card so that they know what the ingredients are. And put them in some little gift bags and call it quits. So hopefully I can take a photo of that before I gift them, and share it on Instagram or something, because it's in a couple of weeks. It'll be after this video goes out, I believe. So yeah, that's everything I've been up to. I'm really into bread making at the moment, but not sourdough, because sourdough requires a lot more thought and time than I've got the mental space for. I'm trying to make more space in my mind for peaceful, mindful, creative moments, whatever that may be. It might